with or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are.
Trump versus Ramaphosa, a land reform showdown that's more comedy than crisis. In the latest episode of Diplomatic Drama, The Trump Chronicles, former U.S. President Donald Trump has taken his talents to South Africa, accusing President Cyril Ramaphosa of orchestrating a white genocide through land reform policies.
So the issues that concern you as the United States,
those are all deaths.
The diplomatic breakthrough, we got a reality TV-style confrontation that left viewers wondering if they'd accidentally tuned into a new season of The Apprentice, Global Edition. Though the drama not as hot as the Zelensky episode, this one really got intense.
The two individuals that are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa. We cannot have those people sitting in the union building.
Why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said, kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing. That was a stadium that holds 100,000 people, and I hardly saw an empty seat. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of representation.
The stage was set in the White House, where Trump, flanked by his entourage, confronted Ramaphosa with a barrage of allegations. He presented videos and articles claiming that white farmers were being persecuted, including references to mass graves and the involvement of opposition leader Julius Malema. Ramaphosa, maintaining his composure, countered that South Africa's constitution protects land ownership rights for all citizens and that most crime victims in the country are black.
Our constitution guarantees and protects the sanctity of tenure of land ownership. And that constitution protects all South Africans with regard to land ownership. However, we do say, because we've got to deal with the past, the government, and as your government also has the right to expropriate land for public use.
And you're doing that.
And we've never really gotten underway with that. And we are going to be doing so.
You're taking people's land away
we have not.
From them. And those people, in many cases, are being executed.
Yeah.
In an attempt to ease tensions, Ramaphosa enlisted the help of South African golfing legend Ernie Els to appeal to Trump's love for golf. The plan was to offer significant economic concessions, including granting the U.S. preferential access to South Africa's mineral and gas resources and easing restrictions on American agricultural imports. However, the meeting took an unexpected turn when Trump, instead of discussing trade relations, chose to focus on the land reform issue, overshadowing Ramaphosa's intended agenda.
President Ramaphosa was right in the middle of the transition time in 1990 and before that. So it's been 35 years of ANC government, and I know there's a lot of anger, through the transition. There was also a lot of stuff happening in the apartheid days. We grew up in the apartheid era. But I don't think two wrongs makes a right. President Mandela, when he came out of prison for all that time, didn't come out with hatred.
Google my name and Malema. You'll see it, sir. He marched on the farm.
But the crime is bad.
The crime is terrible, sir, but Mr. Steenhuisen won't admit to it, but he runs the Western Cape, where I live. And the biggest murder rate is in the Cape Flats. Gangs. We've got gang warfare. Like your M33, what were these guys? We've got equivalents there. But we need your help, sir. And we need Elon technology.
Well, one of the real areas of support is really in investments. We've got to grow our economy, because through growing the economy, we're then able to create more jobs. Because crime really thrives where there is inequality and unemployment. And that is one of the reasons that has brought us here, to improve our investment relations, our trade relations, so that we can preserve the number of jobs that your companies have created in South Africa. By virtue of what we export to you, we are able to create up to 500,000 jobs in the auto industry, in the agricultural industry, and a number of other industries, mining, where we export things to you. And we also know that as South African companies invest here, you are also able to create jobs. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
As the meeting unfolded, it became clear that this was more of a theatrical performance than a diplomatic discussion. Trump's dramatic presentation of alleged atrocities contrasted sharply with Ramaphosa's calm and reasoned responses. The presence of Elon Musk, who has been critical of Ramaphosa's government, added an extra layer of intrigue to the proceedings.
To the front line in Ukraine. It has also had more contracts coming its way, and there is some evidence that companies are allowing access to it because they want to be close to the Trump administration and send the right signal. So Bloomberg broke news today that the South African government is working around the rules on black ownership in order to allow Starlink in, and that is being done on the eve of the visit that President Ramaphosa is going to make to the White House. Do you recognize that as a conflict of interest?
No, of course not. First of all, you should be questioning why are there racist laws in South Africa? That's the first problem. That's what you should be attacking. It's improper for there to be racist laws in South Africa. The whole idea with what Nelson Mandela, who was a great man, proposed was that all races should be on an equal footing in South Africa. That's the right thing to do, not to replace one set of racist laws with another set of racist laws, which is utterly wrong and improper. So that's the deal, that all races should be treated equally, and there should be no preference given to one or the other. Whereas there are now 140 laws in South Africa that give that basically give strong preference to if you're a black South African, and not otherwise. And so now I'm in this absurd situation where I was born in South Africa but cannot get a license to operate in Starlink because I'm not black.
Well, it looks like that's about. Looks like that's about to change.
I just asked you a question. Please answer. Does that seem right to you?
Well, those rules were designed to bring.
Yes or no?
Those rules were designed to bring about an era of more economic equality in South Africa, and it looks like the government has found a way around those rules for you.
I asked you a question.
This is your interview. Everyone wants to hear from you.
I asked you a question. Yes or no?
Not for me.
Laws, yes or no?
Not for me to answer. I have got a question for you about your government work, though, and the amount of savings.